Hello there and welcome back. Before we begin, take a quiet moment to let your body soften just a little. Let the day loosen its hold and let your breath fall into a slow, easy rhythm. Nothing to solve, nowhere to be just this gentle settling. Imagine a night sky that moves at the pace of ancient starlight, where darkness is not empty, but soft and full. A pale silver band stretches across the sky, made of dust and stars, breathing together over ages. The light is faint, steady, and patient, as though it has always been here and always will be. Tonight we will drift into the story of what is quietly pulling the Milky Way through space. It is not a story of sudden change or loud revelations. It is a story of motion that is slow, deep, and enduring, shaped by light distance and time flowing like a gentle current. What if our galaxy is not still but drifting through a silent river of gravity? And what if the space between stars is not empty at all, but alive with a movement so soft it takes patience to notice? There is no need to grasp it tightly. Just allow the thought to float like a leaf on still water. Wherever you are listening, from a dim room, a quiet corner, a warm blanket, or the hush of late night, we share this moment under the same sky. You do not need to follow every word. You are welcome to simply let the story move around you like a tide that knows its way. If slow journeys like this feel comforting, you are welcome to stay. There is no rush here, nothing to achieve, only resting, breathing, and drifting gently with the story. So let your thoughts slow to the pace of drifting starlight. We will begin our quiet walk into the motion of the Milky Way, soft, steady, and unhurried. Let the body loosen, let the mind soften, and let the night open around you. We begin softly. The Milky Way is moving, not quickly, not sharply, and not in a way we could ever feel. It drifts the way a quiet breath leaves the body slow and without effort. Imagine standing somewhere silent where the world feels still, and yet something in the air continues to flow gently forward. That is how our galaxy travels, soft, unhurried, and ancient. If you imagine a city floating on a perfectly still lake, the buildings glowing softly in the night, and the water beneath it sliding almost imperceptibly in one steady direction, you would begin to understand. Nothing trembles, nothing stirs, and still the motion continues. The city does not need to know it is moving for the movement to be real. The Milky Way, our home among the stars, is like that city. It is a vast spiraling island of starlight drifting through a darkness that is not empty but calm. Every star, every planet, every cloud of glowing gas moves with it as if held in a gentle cradle. We are passengers, carried quietly held inside a journey that began long before we opened our eyes to it. You do not feel this motion because everything around you shares it. The earth, the air, your body, your heartbeat, all drifting together like leaves resting on a slow-moving river. There is no wind to mark the motion, no sound to reveal the flow. The galaxy moves in silence beneath a sky too deep to echo back. And so there is a kind of peace in it. A movement so slow, so subtle, that it feels almost like stillness. Like the calm at the bottom of the ocean, where currents continue to shift, but the water remains smooth. We are held in that quiet, supported, guided by a presence too large to ever feel hurried. Take a slow breath in. Let the air expand gently through your body, and as you breathe out, allow your shoulders to soften just a little. There is no need to try. Breath knows how to move on its own, just like the galaxy knows how to drift through the night. No force, no urgency, only continuation. If you look up at the stars, you may see what seems like permanence. The constellations appear fixed, their shapes familiar and unchanging. Yet even those patterns steady to the eye are part of this great motion. Stars shift like grains of sand in a tide too slow for a single lifetime to measure. Motion is the quiet truth beneath the appearance of stillness. And in that same stillness, you are part of the story. The atoms in your bones, the breath in your chest, the warmth behind your heartbeat, all of them belong to this galaxy drifting through the dark. You are not separate from it. You are being carried with it always, without effort, without demand, simply held. Imagine now that you are lying on your back in a quiet field, the grass cool beneath you, the night wide above. The stars are steady points of silver scattered across an endless dark sky. You feel the earth beneath as something solid, safe, familiar. But even the earth is drifting softly, slowly through a darkness that has always been here. There is something comforting in knowing that motion does not require force, that journeys can continue even in silence. The galaxy has moved this way for billions of years and will continue for billions more. You do not need to understand the destination. You do not need to follow the distance. You are already part of the motion simply by resting here. So breathe again, just as softly as before. Let your minds grow gentle and quiet. You are floating with every star you have ever seen in a vast and peaceful drift. Nothing to hold, nothing to fix, nothing to change. Only the soft, slow movement of the Milky Way carrying you deeper into the night. And as you rest, the galaxy continues its long, quiet journey, steady, calm, and unhurried. Always moving, always breathing, always here. Let yourself drift with it. You are in a moving world. Even now, as you rest, the earth is slowly turning, spinning with a quiet steadiness that never falters. Day becomes night, night becomes day, not because the world begins or ends, but because it turns with a rhythm older than memory. You do not feel the motion, and yet it guides every sunrise, every season, every gentle shift of light across your window. The earth is not alone in its movement. It follows the sun, traveling in a wide circle, a long, slow journey that takes an entire year to complete. And the sun itself is not still. It is traveling too, making a vast arc around the center of the Milky Way galaxy, along with billions of other stars, all drifting together like lanterns floating on a quiet river. And the Milky Way is also in motion. It is not anchored to anything, not fixed in place, like a painting on a wall. It drifts through the universe, the way a boat drifts across a deep, silent ocean, the stars it sails and gravity, the gentle current beneath. We are not standing still in space. We are sailing through it, carried along in a journey too wide and slow to measure with breath or footsteps. If you imagine a great ship with many decks, each level beautiful in its own way, you would begin to understand. The Earth is one deck, the solar system is another. The Milky Way is the ship itself gliding through an endless cosmic sea. We are passengers resting between the stars, feeling only the quiet. Take a soft breath in. Let it go just as softly. There is no need to grasp the shapes of these movements. Just know that everything is held together in a gentle way. There is no rush in the universe, no urgency in its turning. Only continuity and patience, like the slow unfurling of a long dream. When we look up, we see stars scattered like silver dust on velvet. They seem still fixed in place, unchanging. But this is only because we are small and the night is large. Time to the stars moves differently. What seems unmoving is actually flowing like a river so wide and slow its surface appears calm. Our home is not a point on a map. It is a journey, a moving path across the deep. We are part of something that is always drifting, always unfolding. No edges, no walls, no end to the quiet that surrounds us. Just motion within motion, layer upon layer, like ripples traveling across still water. And perhaps that motion is comforting. It means we do not need to push, to hurry to chase. We are already carried. Our place in the universe is not earned or defended. It is simply given a space on the drifting ship of stars, a seat beside a window that looks out to infinity. When ancient storytellers looked to the sky, they saw God's spirits and great rivers of light. They imagined that the Milky Way was a path souls travelled, or the dust of divine footsteps across the dark. And although our understanding has changed, something of that feeling remains. The sky still feels sacred, still feels like a quiet mystery that watches over us while we sleep. You are part of that story, not separate from the stars, but made of them. The iron in your blood, the calcium in your bones, the oxygen you breathe, all were formed in the hearts of ancient stars that lived and ended long before Earth began. You are the universe remembering itself softly through the shape of your breathing. So let yourself rest. You are already where you need to be. There is no destination waiting for you beyond the horizon. The galaxy will continue its long, slow drift, whether you stay awake or sleep to the rhythm of the night. Let the body soften. Let the mind quiet. You are home here in the moving universe, a traveller who does not need to move, a passenger carried gently through the dark, and the journey continues softly, always softly. Astronomers began to notice something very gentle in the light of distant galaxies. The starlight carried a quiet trace, like a whisper stretched across time. It suggested that not all galaxies move at random. Some groups of galaxies gathered in great clusters seem to drift slowly toward regions of space where mass is greater, places where gravity is quietly stronger. This is not a single direction for every world, not a universal river. It is more like many small streams on a vast landscape, each one moving softly toward the deepest valley nearby. If you imagine leaves resting on a calm lake, drifting not because they try to move, but because the water beneath them gently curves, you will understand. Our galaxy is one leaf among billions, carried by the subtle shape of space itself. There is no rush in this movement, no force you could feel, only a slow, patient drifting guided by quiet gravity across distances older than memory. If you imagine a quiet river in late autumn leaves resting on its surface, you will understand. The leaves do not argue with the water. They do not resist the gentle pull forward. They simply drift, moving together without effort. No one leaf is in control, yet all follow the same invisible current beneath. Our galaxy is one of those leaves, just one among billions, floating in a current too wide and calm to ever be felt directly. There is no rushing here, no urgency, only the slow, unbroken continuity of existence extending beyond anything we can measure with days, years, or lifetimes. Take a soft, slow breath in and let it fall back out like a leaf settling on warm water. Let your body feel just a little heavier a little quieter. There is no need to hold yourself up right now. The Earth is already holding you. The galaxy is already carrying you. You can rest in that. The invisible current that guides galaxies is not loud or dramatic. It is steady, patient, and constant, like the pull of the tide or the hush of night settling over fields of grass. The galaxies do not resist it because there is nothing to resist. They move with it because that is simply what it means to belong to the universe, to be part of something vast and gentle. When astronomers realized that many galaxies were drifting the same way, they did not rush to conclusions. Instead, they watched. They listened to the light. They allowed time to speak in its slow, careful language. In the quiet, the truth revealed itself. Motion can be soft. The universe does not need to shout to move everything it holds. And just like the galaxies, you do not need to force your way through your own existence. You are allowed to drift sometimes, to move with the current of your own life softly, without resistance. Not every journey needs effort. Not every moment requires striving. Some moments are meant to be floated through. As you rest here, notice how your breath already knows what to do. Notice how the heart continues to beat without instruction. The body is not waiting for commands. It is already part of a rhythm older than thought. You are already floating. You always have been. There is a deep comfort in knowing that movement does not mean urgency, that travel does not require strain. The galaxies move with the lightest touch, not because they are being pulled or pushed, but because space itself is shaped in a way that carries them forward. In the same way, you are held in the shape of your life. You are carried simply because you are here. So let go just a little more. Let the breath soften at the edges. Let the thoughts become quieter, like ripples fading on water. You are drifting not away from anything, not toward anything, but simply with the gentle current of existence. No effort, no gripping, no resistance. Just drifting, just breathing, just resting inside the same quiet motion that carries the stars. And the current continues soft and unbroken. There is a thin veil in our night sky, a quiet curtain made not of cloth, but of dust and gentle clouds of gas. These soft drifting particles float inside the Milky Way, forming shapes we cannot see with the eye alone. They gather in long dim bands across the heavens, like mist resting over distant hills at dawn. This veil is subtle. It does not block the stars entirely. It only softens them, as if inviting us to look more slowly. Astronomers call this region the zone of avoidance, a place where our vision into the deeper universe grows hazy and dim. But the name is misleading. Nothing here is meant to be avoided. It is simply a place where the universe whispers instead of sings, where light has to travel through the breath of the galaxy before it reaches our waiting eyes. The stars beyond are still there, patient, distant, and unchanged, just gently hidden for now. In old stories long before telescopes existed, people believed this dim band was a curtain placed by the night goddess. A silver-dusted drape stretched across the sky to mark the boundary between the world we know and the dreams that lie beyond it. They said the goddess, quiet and calm, covered the sky so that human hearts would not look too far too quickly. She wished for us to learn to rest our gaze, to breathe, to soften into wonder slowly. Perhaps there is wisdom in that. Not everything is meant to be seen all at once. Some truths are too wide, too deep, too full of quiet for hurried eyes. The veil reminds us that mystery does not need to be solved. It can simply be held with gentle curiosity, like a warm pebble in the palm of your hand. You do not need to lift it. You do not need to push past it. You can simply be with it. When you look at the night sky, you may notice a faint milky glow stretching overhead. That glow is our home, the Milky Way, seen from inside. The dust that makes the glow soft is the same dust that hides what lies beyond it. It is not an obstacle. It is a reminder to slow down, to let your eyes linger, to let your breathing find a quieter place. Take a soft breath in. Let it move through your chest like a small wave smoothing itself along the sand. And as you breathe out, imagine sinking just a little deeper into stillness. The veil in the sky does not rush. It does not push. It rests, and you too may rest with it. Astronomers learn to listen to the light that passes through this veil. It shifts, bends, and changes in gentle ways, like the way sunlight softens as it filters through morning clouds. From those subtle changes, we learned about the worlds beyond, not by forcing the sky to open, but by learning to read the softness. Imagine knowledge gathered from the hush between stars instead of from brightness alone. In many myths, the night goddess does not hide the universe. She protects the dreamer. She invites sleep. She gives the mind somewhere to rest when the world feels too large. The darkness is not empty, but peaceful, like deep water that holds the body without effort. It asks nothing of you. It only holds space for quiet. So when you look into the night sky, remember the veil not as something that limits you, but as something that welcomes your slowing. Like a hand placed gently on your back, guiding you into stillness. Like the hush that settles before sleep, when the world softens at the edges, and everything feels just a little farther away, a little quieter, a little kinder. Let your thoughts drift the way starlight drifts through the veil, slowly without force. There is no need to push or reach. You are already within the story. You are already among the stars. You are already held inside the gentle curtain of the night. Breathe, soften, drift. The sky is not hiding anything from you. It is simply inviting you to rest. And rest is more than enough. There are times when eyes are not the best guide. Some truths are too soft for sight, too quiet for brightness, too subtle to meet us in the world of shape and outline. The universe holds many secrets, not in the things it shows, but in the things it whispers. And so, to understand the stars beyond the veil, humanity learned not to look harder, but to listen more gently. The sky is full of dust and soft clouds that shimmer like fine mist drifting through moonlight. They blur and soften the starlight that tries to reach us like sheer curtains drawn across a window. The eyes struggle in such places. They see only dim shapes, faint light, a suggestion of what lies beyond. But the truth is not lost. It merely shifts to a quieter form. To pass through this veil, we learn to use radio waves, invisible, silent, gentle as a breath. Radio waves move through dust, the way a breeze moves through tall grass, parting without disturbing. They carry messages from distant galaxies, patient and steady across unthinkable distances. Where light is softened, sound continues. Where vision fades, listening remains. Imagine standing in a quiet forest. The air is still, the trees tall, the path soft beneath your feet. You cannot see far. The leaves and trunks shape the space into a gentle maze. But the wind moves between the branches, And if you are still and patient, you can hear everything: the soft sway of the woods, the distant rhythm of unseen wings, the faint hush of life breathing. That is what radio waves are to the sky, a way to hear what the eyes cannot see. Astronomers learned to listen in this way. They tuned great gentle instruments to the quiet frequencies where the universe speaks softly. Instead of the sharp sparkle of stars, they listened to long, patient waves of soundless energy. Waves that tell of movement of distance, of entire galaxies drifting together like leaves joined by the same slow stream. It is a different kind of seeing one that asks for stillness, not focus. Take a slow breath in. Let it soften on the way out. Feel how listening comes naturally when you stop trying to hold or reach. The night does not ask for effort. It asks for presence. There is a difference between looking and listening. Looking reaches forward, seeking something to understand. Listening leans back, allowing the truth to come forward on its own. To listen is to trust that what is meant to be known will arrive gently when the mind is quiet enough to receive it. The universe is not hiding its story. It is simply speaking in a slower language. Those who watch the sky with eyes alone see only brightness, but those who listen can feel the quiet heartbeat beneath it. They can sense the slow drift of galaxies, the soft unfolding of time, the gentle motion of worlds floating through dark water. The universe breathes very slowly, and radio waves let us hear that breath. In many old stories, wise figures were not those who could see far, but those who could hear what others missed. The rustle of grass before a traveller arrives, the shift of tide before the shore changes, the whisper of a dream before morning breaks. Listening has always been a way of knowing that does not require force. Your breath is also a quiet message. It continues even when your mind is tired. It moves gently through you, soft and steady, like a river that never rushes. You do not command it. You only notice it, and in noticing you remember, not all knowing comes from effort. Some knowing comes from rest. Let your thoughts loosen like leaves settling into still water. Let your body feel heavy in the most comfortable way, supported safe quiet. You are not asked to understand everything, only to listen to the soft rhythm within and around you. The universe speaks in waves you cannot see, but you can feel the shape of the calm they bring. Listening is enough. Resting is enough. You are already in the current of the stars, and the night continues, gentle, endless, softly breathing. When astronomers measured the motion of thousands of galaxies, they discovered something quiet and astonishing. These galaxies were not drifting at random, nor moving in separate directions, like leaves scattered by a storm. Instead, they were traveling together, flowing in the same gentle direction across the vast dark, as if the universe itself had drawn a soft current, and every galaxy had simply begun to follow. This movement was not loud. It was not forceful. It did not push or pull the galaxies as if by command. It was more like the slow slide of autumn water, clear and cool, moving down a hillside without effort. A current that exists simply because space bends and time expands in ways that are both tender and immense. There is no leader in this motion, no first traveller, no one galaxy that becomes a guide, and there are no followers either. The galaxies drift together simply because they share the same space, the same fabric of gravity, the same soft invitation to move. It is harmony without direction, unity without command, motion without force. If you imagine leaves floating along a quiet stream, you will understand. No leaf hurries, no leaf lags behind. Even when they differ in shape or weight, the water holds them all and guides them along the same winding path. They drift not because they must, but because drifting is what water allows. The universe works this way too. Gravity forms its own gentle rivers, stretching across distances too large to see all at once. We call them currents, but they are really more like whispers threads of motion woven into the shape of everything. The galaxies simply move along these threads, softly, patiently, without resistance. Take a slow breath in and let it release with the ease of falling leaves. Feel the breath descend into your body like something settling into deep, calm water. Your heart doesn't need to beat fast. Your mind doesn't need to press forward. You can drift with the rhythm that already exists within you. It is comforting to know that the universe does not rush. It expands slowly, moves slowly, breathes slowly. Everything that exists is already part of this unbroken flow. And you lying here listening, resting, are already moving within it. Not separate, never separate. Always part of the gentle drift. The galaxies do not question the current. They do not worry about where it leads, or how long the journey will be. They simply continue one moment after another, like a long exhale stretched across billions of years. And perhaps this is a reminder your life does not need to be rushed. There is a current already carrying you forward. If you close your eyes, you might imagine your heart beating not on its own, but in time with the quiet motion of the Milky Way. A slow, steady rhythm, soft enough to be missed unless you are very still. The heart does not ask permission to beat. The galaxy doesn't ask permission to drift. Both simply continue. There is beauty in that simplicity, in the idea that not everything requires effort. That movement can be natural, effortless, free of strain. You do not need to push against the world to belong to it. You are already part of the grand, soft motion that carries stars across the deep. Let your breath flow like that current, unhurried, open, easy. If thoughts come, let them drift in the same direction without needing to be held or stopped. Just as galaxies do not cling to their past positions, you do not need to cling to every thought. You can let them glide one after another into a gentle distance. You are floating in the same universe that holds the stars, the same current that carries galaxies through darkness. There is no urgency here, no struggle, only a quiet, endless motion that invites the body to relax the spine, to soften the mind, to rest. So breathe slowly. Feel the heart settle into a softer rhythm. Feel the weight of your body sink into the place where you are resting. You are not separate from the drift. You are already being carried in the soft motion of the galaxies, in the slow tide of the night. You are part of the shared flow. Let your heart drift with it. There is a light that has been travelling since the universe was young. A faint glow stretched thin across time, older than any star we can see. It is not bright like starlight, and not sharp like the sun. It is soft low, almost like a memory the universe still carries with it. This light is called the cosmic microwave background, the afterglow of the first awakening of everything. Long before galaxies formed, before stars were born, before space had shapes or patterns, this light began its journey. It has crossed the entire universe, moving slowly through expanding space, becoming gentler, quieter, softer. And now it reaches us not as something to be seen with the eye, but as something to be felt through careful listening. It is the universe's oldest whisper. In this ancient light, scientists found something unexpected, a slight tilt, a subtle shift, a faint asymmetry, like a soft ripple on a still pond. It was a sign, a mark that our galaxy is not still. The Milky Way is drifting through space, carried on a long, unbroken wave of motion. Light itself remembers that movement. This movement is steady, not rushed, not forced. It is like the gentle rise and fall of the body when breathing in sleep. Slow enough to soothe, ancient enough to quiet the mind. The galaxy moves as though the universe is breathing, and we are being carried with its exhale. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out softly. Feel how the body shifts without conscious effort. That is the kind of motion the Milky Way knows. The light we are speaking of is not a spotlight shining down. It is more like a warm glow left in the air after a candle was blown out. A reminder that something once burned bright and still lingers in the quiet. It does not demand attention. It simply exists, surrounding everything like a comfort that cannot be seen but can always be felt. To detect such quiet light, one must learn to be still, not to look harder, not to strain, but to soften the gaze and listen gently, like someone waiting by a window for dawn, knowing the light will rise on its own. The universe reveals itself not to those who press, but to those who rest. This ancient glow holds the memory of the universe's first breath. It holds the story of expansion, of cooling, of space unfolding like silk, and written inside that glow is the motion of our galaxy, a tiny shift in its gentle hue that tells us where we are drifting. It is the universe saying, yes, you are moving too. You do not need to understand the physics. You do not need to calculate the speed or the scale. Let the numbers fade like mist. What matters is the feeling, the quiet awe that comes from knowing we are part of something vast, calm, and endlessly slow. The universe is not rushing anywhere, neither are you. Imagine now that you are floating on a wide, still lake. The water is cool and deep, the air soft, the sky just beginning to dim into twilight. You cannot feel the movement beneath the surface, but it is there, the slow flow of currents far below. They carry you without effort. They hold your body as though you belong to the water. That is how the galaxy drifts, and you are within it, not separate, not outside. Carried gently without even needing to know. Let your breath follow the same rhythm, slow, deep, unforced. The body knows how to relax when the mind steps aside. The heart knows how to soften when it trusts the moment. There is nothing you need to do, nothing you need to solve, only drifting with the quiet. The universe has been breathing for billions of years. Light has been travelling for just as long. And you here now are part of that story. A small, warm presence resting in the vastness, safe in the slow motion of everything. So let your thoughts dim like evening light. Let your body sink into where you are resting. Let the night come softly, like that ancient glow still travelling through the stars. The Milky Way drifts. The universe breathes, and you are allowed to rest with it, gently, quietly, without effort. There is a region in space toward which our entire galaxy is drifting. It has a name whispered softly among astronomers and dreamers alike, the Great Attractor. It is not a star, not a planet, not a glowing beacon calling out from the dark. It is a place where matter gathers just a little more densely, forming a quiet pull subtle, patient, steady. When you first hear the name, you might imagine something dramatic, something powerful or overwhelming. But the truth is softer. The Great Attractor does not drag the Milky Way forward. It simply curves the space around it, shaping a gentle slope, a slow decline, a natural path for our galaxy to follow. Not force, but guidance. To understand it, imagine a slow-moving river. Leaves float upon it without effort. They do not choose their direction, and they are not compelled by force. The water simply knows where it is going, and the leaves rest upon its knowing. The Great Attractor is like this river, and galaxies ours among them are the leaves. There is something graceful in this motion, something quiet and accepting. Nothing is struggling, nothing is resisting. The universe is not in conflict with itself. It flows, it drifts, it continues. In ancient Greek mythology, there was said to be a river called Lethe, the river of forgetting. Souls did not fall into it. They drifted toward it slowly, gently, as though carried by memory itself. Not because they were forced, but because the river simply knew the way. It invited rest, it invited release. The Great Attractor is not Lethe, it does not erase, but it does hold that same soft inevitability, an invitation instead of a command, a direction rather than a pull, a path traced not by will, but by the quiet architecture of space itself. Take a slow breath in. Feel the air expand softly behind your ribs. Let it fall out again, smooth and warm. Your body too knows how to move without force. We sometimes imagine the universe as chaotic, unpredictable, scattered. But when we look closely, when we listen instead of merely observe, we see pattern quiet and vast. The galaxies drift not randomly, but together, as though following a long, gentle melody being played somewhere beyond our ability to hear. The Great Attractor is one chord in that melody, deep, low, patient. We do not know exactly what lies at its center. Dust clouds obscure our view, and time moves too slowly for certainty. But the mystery is not frightening. It is soft. It is the kind of mystery that invites wonder rather than urgency, quiet reflection rather than grasping. Some things are meant to be felt before they are understood. The Milky Way is moving toward this region at a steady pace. Not racing, not rushing, just drifting the way a sigh leaves the body. Long, unhurried, inevitable. And we floating on this tiny blue world within a spiral of stars are drifting with it. There is comfort in knowing that we are being carried, that the universe has currents, just like oceans and wind. That motion does not always require effort, that journeys can happen even in stillness. Imagine lying on your back in calm water. There is no struggle. The water holds you. You rise and fall with its breath. You do not need to swim to move. The world moves around you, and you are part of its motion. That is what it means to travel with the galaxy. Your breath is the same. It does not need to be controlled. It flows in. It flows out. A tide, a cycle, a rhythm older than thought. If you allow it, you can drift with your breath the same way the Milky Way drifts with the Great Attractor, slowly, gently, endlessly. Let your face soften. Let your shoulders loosen. Let your hands rest where they are. There is nowhere to go. You are already moving. You are already carried. The Great Attractor is not a destination. It is simply the shape of the path beneath us. A reminder that motion can be quiet. A reminder that being carried is not the same as being lost. And as the galaxy continues its long, silent journey, you are welcome to rest in the same stillness, floating in the calm of a universe that moves without hurry. Let yourself drift. The Milky Way is not a solitary traveller drifting through the dark. It moves with companions, a family of galaxies bound together by quiet gravity and shared motion. This gathering is called the local group, a small cluster of galaxies journeying side by side through the vastness of space. We are not a single spark in a silent void. We are part of a constellation of travellers. Within this group, the Milky Way and the Andromeda Galaxy are the two largest lights, like two lanterns floating on the same deep river. Surrounding them are smaller galaxies, faint and delicate, glowing with soft halos of starlight. They drift together not by force, but by the quiet pull of connection. Gravity is not a chain, it is a gentle hand that guides. The local group is only one piece of something even larger, the Virgo supercluster. A gathering so vast that stars, constellations, and even entire galaxies become threads in a much greater tapestry. And yet even this grand cluster doesn't stand alone. It too belongs to something wider, something deeper, something beautifully expansive. This greater home is called Laniakea, a word that means the immeasurable heaven or the vast open skies, a name filled with softness, awe, and the sense of a space so wide that one can only exhale and allow the heart to deepen. Laniakea is not a place you can point to in the sky. It is a flow, a region of shared movement, shared motion, shared drifting. Take a slow breath in. Let the chest expand gently. Exhale without effort. You are part of something spacious. You are already inside it. Laniakea is like an ocean of galaxies, not turbulent, not storming, but calm, steady, slow. Each galaxy is a small island of light floating on the dark sea. They do not rush. They do not collide in chaos. They move with the same gentle procession, the same unhurried rhythm, the same quiet that fills deep water before dawn. It is natural to think of ourselves as small when staring into the universe. A single person in a single home on a single planet in a single galaxy. But belonging does not depend on size. A grain of sand belongs to the shore as much as the sea belongs to the horizon. You belong not as an outsider, but as a note in a song still being played. Let your thoughts loosen like threads unwinding. Let the muscles around your eyes soften. Let the breath lengthen without trying. You are part of a universe that does not demand effort. It only asks you to exist, to rest, to drift. The facts that the Milky Way is moving with others means we are held in relationship even at a cosmic scale. Connection is not something new or invented. It is written into the fabric of space. The galaxies are not wandering alone. They are journeying together like travellers with the same quiet destination, even if that destination does not need to be known. In the same way, you have always been moving with other hearts, other minds, other breaths. You have always belonged to something larger, a family, a world, a shared moment in time. Even when you feel alone, the motion continues around you, silent and steady, holding you inside it. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a calm sea at night. The horizon blends into darkness, the stars reflected on the water like scattered pearls. There is no boundary between sky and ocean, only a continuous open vastness. That is Laniakea, a space without walls. You do not need to understand every detail for this to be real. You do not need to hold every concept in your hands. Just feel the openness, the quiet, the belonging. Feel how your breath slows when you remember that nothing in the universe is truly alone. Everything moves together. Let yourself rest inside that truth. Let your shoulders release. Let your heartbeat soften. Let the night widen around you. You are part of Laniakea, part of the Milky Way, part of the local group, part of the quiet drift of galaxies, part of the soft unbroken story of the universe. You belong to the immeasurable sky, and it belongs to you. Across the vast darkness of space, galaxies are not scattered like isolated sparks. They are connected lightly, delicately, by strands of gravity so fine they are almost impossible to imagine. These strands stretch for millions of light years, forming a network not unlike a web of silk shimmering in moonlight. And though the threads are invisible, they hold everything in place, softly guiding the gentle drift of stars and worlds. This cosmic network has been compared to the net of Indra, a story from ancient India. In that tale, there is a great net woven across the heavens, and at every intersection lies a jewel. Each jewel reflects all others, endless mirrors of light and presence. A universe where everything is connected, where nothing exists alone, where every part holds every other part in its quiet reflection. Our galaxy is one of those jewels, a point of light resting on a node in the vast glimmering web. And the light we see in the night sky, the haze of the Milky Way stretching from one horizon to the other, is only a single reflection, one glimmer, in a tapestry far greater than we can see with our eyes. We are part of something immense, and yet the connection is gentle. Take a slow breath in and release it softly, like mist leaving your lungs. In the cosmic web, gravity does not pull sharply nor command with force. It guides like a hand placed lightly on your back, encouraging forward movement without pressure. The galaxies move not because they are compelled, but because the space between them shapes the path. Motion is a language written into the structure of everything. If you were to zoom far beyond the reach of telescopes, far beyond stars and clusters, you would begin to see a pattern. Galaxies forming filaments, long, delicate strands. These strands twist and weave into shapes that resemble rivers or roots or constellations drawn across nothingness. The universe is not empty, it is woven. Imagine yourself standing beneath a tree at dusk. The branches reach out in every direction, and even when the world grows dark, you know the structure remains. You can feel it, even if you cannot see it clearly. The universe's web is like those branches, familiar in its shape, comforting in its quiet presence. You are part of this network as well, not separate, not outside. The atoms in your body were shaped by stars, arranged by gravity, held by the same quiet forces that guide galaxies through the dark. The body knows this connection, even if the mind forgets. When you breathe slowly, when you let yourself rest, you can feel the belonging in your bones. Let your shoulders soften. Let your jaw loosen. Let your breath fall into an easy rhythm. There is no need to grasp the entire structure of the universe. It is not something to be held all at once. It is something to be felt slowly, like warmth spreading from a candle in a dark room. You do not need to understand to belong. You already belong. In the net of Indra, every jewel reflects every other, a reminder that nothing exists alone. When one part of the universe moves, every part feels a soft echo. The same is true for you. Your existence touches others in ways subtle and gentle, just as you are touched by lives you may never fully know. There is a comfort in being small, but not insignificant. Small enough to rest, small enough to listen, yet important enough to be held within a network that stretches beyond stars, beyond time, beyond thought. You are a luminous point in a web of endless connection. Let the thoughts settle like dust, falling through a beam of warm light. Let it rest in you. No need to hold it tightly. You are not lost in the universe. You are placed, gently, purposefully, beautifully. The web holds you as surely as it holds galaxies. Soft threads, invisible, unbreakable. And as your breathing slows, as your body grows heavier with rest, you can feel the truth of it. You are part of the universe's quiet fabric, a light within the net, small enough to be humble and important enough to be loved. Rest in that connection. For a long time, humanity believed that everything in the universe revolved around Earth. The sun rose for us, the stars turned for us, and the night sky seemed like a dome, made simply to shelter our small world. This idea was not foolish nor arrogant. It was simply the view from where we stood, the way a child sees their home as the center of everything meaningful. And in those early days, the universe felt close, warm, intimate, and understandable. But understanding has its own gentle unfolding, and with each step of learning, the universe opened wider around us. As knowledge deepened, we learned that Earth travels around the sun, and the sun is only one star among countless others. The Milky Way itself became not an entire cosmos, but only one soft spiral of starlight among billions drifting through an ocean of space. To some, this might seem like a shrinking of our place in things, a displacement from importance. Yet what truly happened was something quieter, something far more comforting. We moved from the center of a small room into the peaceful vastness of a grand open field. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out softly. Feel how the body grows quieter as space expands inside the mind. Understanding did not make us smaller, it let us rest. When we believed the world depended on us, we carried a weight without realizing it. When we learned we were part of something greater, the weight was lifted. Humility is not the same as insignificance. Humility is the release of urgency. It is the recognition that we do not need to know everything, solve everything, or hold everything in our hands. The universe is already in motion, already unfolding in its own time, its own way, with a patience older than stars. We are carried within it like a small boat resting on a deep and gentle sea. Imagine standing beneath a night sky where the Milky Way stretches overhead in a pale ribbon of silver. The stars appear distant, eternal, unchanging. And yet you are connected to them, not by sight alone, but by origin. The iron flowing in your blood, the calcium strengthening your bones, the oxygen in your breath, all were forged inside ancient stars. You are not a visitor in the universe. You are its continuation. Let your shoulders soften. Let the breath become unforced, easy. There is no need to hold yourself upright against the world. You are already held by something much larger and much more patient than any worry you carry. When people first learned that Earth was not the center of the universe, there may have been surprise or disbelief. But in time, the truth became something calming. We do not need to be the center to be meaningful. We do not need to be the largest, brightest, or most important point in the sky. A single star can illuminate the night. A single candle can warm a room. A single breath can steady the heart. The more we learned, the more we discovered that everything is connected. That galaxies do not drift alone, but move in shared currents. That stars are woven into networks of gravity and motion. And that we too are part of that same gentle web. You do not exist apart from the universe. You exist within it as naturally as a leaf rests upon water. Understanding this allows the mind to soften. There is no longer a need to strive upward endlessly, trying to reach something beyond yourself. You do not need to expand to fill the universe. The universe has already expanded to include you. Take another slow breath. Let the exhale linger just a little longer. This is not effort. This is release. The humility of knowing is the realization that you can let go. You do not need to hold the stars in your hands to be made of them. You do not need to see the end of the journey to be part of the movement. The galaxy drifts without hurry. Time flows without demand. Your life can unfold the same way, gently, unforced, natural. You are small enough to rest and important enough to be held. The universe does not ask you to shine constantly. It simply invites you to exist within it, softly, quietly, peacefully, just as stars burn without strain, just as galaxies drift without haste, just as breath enters and leaves the body without need for control. If your eyes grow heavy now, let them. If your thoughts soften into quiet, let them. There is no knowledge left to gain in this moment, only rest. The universe is wide, and you have a place in it. You can let that be enough. Breathe, and let the night deepen around you. There is a kind of movement so soft, so constant that the body cannot sense it at all. The earth is spinning. The earth is orbiting the sun. The sun is orbiting the center of the Milky Way, and the Milky Way is drifting through the universe. And yet, you do not feel even the slightest tug of this journey. Everything around you is moving to your breath, your heartbeat, your home, the air, the stars beyond the atmosphere. When everything moves together, motion becomes stillness. It is like sitting in a boat on a lake so calm that the surface reflects the sky perfectly. The boat drifts slow and quiet, but there is no rocking, no splash of oars, no sound of waves. The water carries you without asking anything in return. You move, but you feel as though you are resting. Movement does not need to disturb peace. The galaxy carries us the same way. A gentle journey, unhurried, without destination or urgency. A motion so gradual that even time seems to soften around it. You are traveling through space at unimaginable speed, and yet you lie here breathing as though the universe is perfectly still. Stillness and motion become the same thing. Take a slow breath in, let it fall out softly. Feel how your body settles deeper. There is no need to try. The mind often thinks of motion as something intense, running, rushing, pushing forward. But in the universe, the most profound motions are the quiet ones, the invisible ones, the ones that do not ask to be noticed. You are being carried by gravity, by time, by the fabric of space itself. Nothing is required of you. You simply drift with everything else. Because everything moves together, there is no resistance. The ground beneath you, the planet around you, the air around the planet, the star that warms it all, slipping through space along the same gentle arc. Motion like this is not something you feel in your muscles. It is something your heart understands slowly in its own quiet pulse. If you look at the night sky, it seems still. The constellations appear, fixed, the stars eternal. but their positions are changing almost imperceptibly, like sand shifting grain by grain at the bottom of a river. What we call stillness is simply movement too slow for a single lifetime to notice, and perhaps that is why rest feels natural. The body is already part of a slow, unbroken drift. When you let yourself relax, you are simply aligning with the rhythm of the universe. You are not stopping movement, you are flowing with it, like a leaf floating effortlessly downstream. Let your shoulders soften. Let your breath lengthen just a little. There is nothing to hold up, nothing that needs effort. Sometimes we think stillness means doing nothing, but stillness can also mean allowing what is already happening to continue, allowing yourself to be carried, allowing motion to exist without your control. There is a deep peace in surrendering to what is already moving. You are not separate from this journey. You have never needed to steer it. You have been part of the motion since before you were born, since before human memory, since before stars were given names. Imagine you are lying on a gentle tide. The water cradles you completely. You do not sink. You do not struggle. You simply float, supported on every side. That is the movement of the galaxy. That is the movement you are in right now. The fact that you cannot feel it is not a sign of absence. It is a sign of harmony. When everything around you moves together, there is no friction, no sharpness, no need to brace yourself. Motion becomes rest. Let the breath guide you softly in, softly out. Let your thoughts drift the way the galaxy drifts slowly, without direction, without urgency. You do not need to solve anything. You do not need to hold anything. You are already being carried. Even in this stillness, you are traveling with stars, planets, and dust older than memory. You are part of a quiet journey through a universe that will continue to unfold whether you watch it or sleep through it. And sleep is welcome here. It is just another form of drifting. So close your eyes a little heavier. Let your breath soften. Let the world grow dim and warm. You are moving through the universe gently and forever, even now. Even as you rest, every part of you carries a quiet history older than Earth itself. The atoms in your bones were forged in the cores of ancient stars long before the Earth cooled, long before oceans formed, long before names were spoken. Those stars lived burned brightly and eventually released their elements back into space in gentle waves of dust and light. That dust gathered slowly, softly, over millions of years to form worlds, seas, air, and eventually you. You are made of starlight that has forgotten it once burned. When you breathe, you are breathing molecules that once belonged to places you will never see. A distant nebula, a star that died before humanity began, a planet that circled a sun far from here. The universe does not lose its matter, it simply reshapes it into new forms. You are a continuation of things that came before. Take a slow breath in, let it fall softly out. Notice how natural it feels to inhale the universe. The carbon in your cells was born in fire. The iron in your blood came from supernovae, great stellar endings that were not destruction, but transformation. Atoms scattered across space eventually found each other again, drawn together by gravity, forming worlds that could hold oceans, forests, bodies, and thought. The universe did not stop creating when stars died. It began again in you. To know this is not to feel large. It is to feel connected. It is to recognize that the body you rest in is not separate from the universe, but part of its unfolding. Every heartbeat is tied to the same laws of motion, that guide galaxies. Every breath is part of a cycle that spans time far beyond memory. You are not outside the cosmos looking in. You are the cosmos looking back at itself. Let your shoulders soften. Let your thoughts slow. There is no effort needed here. When we think of stars, we imagine them as distant, unreachable cold or blinding. But the truth is much softer. Stars live and dissolve, and in dissolving, they give. They scatter the ingredients for life the way a tree scatters seeds into the wind. What grows from those seeds is not separate from the tree, it is its quiet continuation. You are a quiet continuation of stars. In ancient stories, humans were said to be made from the breath of gods or the clay of the earth. Those stories were not wrong. They were simply another way of saying we come from something greater than ourselves. But now we understand the story through light and matter instead of myth, and the meaning is still tender, still gentle, still sacred. You are not alone in your body. The universe lives inside you. It listens through your heartbeat. It moves through your blood. It rests when you rest. If you place a hand lightly over your chest, you may feel a slow pulse, not hurried, not loud, just steady, like a star's rhythm stretched across a lifetime. That pulse connects you to everything that has ever lived, everything that will ever be. It is the simplest reminder that you belong. You do not need to understand the chemistry or the physics. You do not need to picture galaxies or imagine reactions inside stellar cores. All you need to know is that nothing in you is separate. You are held by the same forces that hold everything together, gravity, time, breath. Take another slow breath in. Let it drift out warm and quiet. Feel how your body loosens when you remember you are part of something that began long before worry. The universe is not a place you must reach. It is a home you have always been inside. You are stardust, not in a poetic way, but in a literal, physical, quiet truth. Stardust that has been shaped into awareness, breath, and rest. You are a piece of the cosmic story that has learned how to listen. Now, let yourself rest. Let the night settle around you. Let the stars outside reflect the stars within and breathe like something that has always belonged to the universe. Far across the sky, beyond what the eye can clearly see, there is another grand spiral of stars. It is the Andromeda Galaxy, our nearest companion in the vastness of space. Though distant, it is not drifting away from us. It is moving closer very slowly across a span of time so long that no single lifetime could ever witness the change. The two galaxies are on a path toward one another. But this is not a collision in the way we imagine loud impacts or violent encounters. It is more like a dance, slow, graceful, unhurried. A drifting motion shaped not by force, but by the soft pull of gravity, like two hands meeting in quiet understanding. Andromeda is not rushing, and neither are we. The movement is patient, gentle, inevitable, in the calmest way. If you could watch from outside time, you would see it like the slow spiraling of two great rivers. They do not strike or break, they merge. The stars of one galaxy begin to intermingle with the stars of the other, like droplets blending in a stream that widens and softens as it flows. No hurry, no resistance, only a quiet joining. Take a slow breath in, let it release without effort. Feel how softness can carry movement just as easily as strength. Most of the stars in the Milky Way and Andromeda will never touch. The distances between them are so immense that even when the galaxies blend, The stars will pass gently like dancers gliding around one another in wide circles. The dance is spacious. There is room. Nothing needs to collide to change. In this slow approach, the galaxies move as though they remember something, as if they have known all along where they were heading. Gravity is not a demand, it is a direction, a suggestion, a quiet invitation. The universe shapes motion the way a river shapes its banks, gradually, endlessly, without hurry. The dance will take billions of years, a timescale too large to hold in thought. So instead, we feel it. We feel it in the same way we feel the slow passing of seasons, or the way the night deepens so gently that we do not notice until the world is dark and still. Some changes are not meant to be seen. They are meant to be trusted. Imagine standing at the edge of a still lake at dusk. Two ripples move toward each other across the surface. They meet not with force, but with blending new patterns forming from old ones. The water remains calm. The reflection remains whole. That is the meeting of galaxies. You too are part of this dance. Every breath you take is carried along with the stars that drift through space. The atoms in your body will continue their own journey long after the galaxies have joined. You are not separate from cosmic motion. You are shaped by it. You are carried within it. Let your body feel heavy and safe where it rests. Let your breath slow like the widening of a night sky. There is no need to move quickly. The universe never does. When Andromeda and the Milky Way finally come together, a new galaxy will form. Not a collision, not an end. A transformation, soft fluid, like the blending of two soft colours in water. Something new will emerge that has been quietly forming for ages. This dance reminds us that closeness does not have to rush, that arrival can be gentle, that connection can unfold slowly without force, that the universe is built not on sudden change, but on patient motion and quiet merging. Your life can move that way too, softly, steadily, without hurry. There is no need to push your way through existence, no need to chase or strain. You can approach your future the way galaxies approach one another, through slow alignment, through gravity that feels like intuition, through motion that feels like breathing. Close your eyes a little heavier. Feel the warmth of your body. Feel the quiet of the room around you. Feel the slow dance of stars continuing even now. You are floating in a universe that moves gently. You are already part of the dance. You always have been. Rest and let the galaxies keep dancing. When two galaxies move toward one another, the mind imagines something loud, bright, or sudden, as though the stars would collide like stones. But the space between stars is vast, and the approach is slow like twilight drifting into night. So when the Milky Way and Andromeda meet, it is not a crash, but a quiet blending. A movement so gentle that if you were watching from within, it would feel like nothing more than a deep breath changing, or the soft shift of a tide beneath a still boat. The stars will not collide because they are too far apart. Instead, their paths will simply curve, adjusting to a new shape, the way dancers adjust to a partner's presence, without rush, without force. Gravity will guide them with the lightest touch, like a finger tracing a line through still water. The galaxies, once separate, will begin to share their space, not by breaking, but by unfolding into one another. Imagine two rivers flowing toward a meeting point. At first, they are distinct, each with its own current, its own colour, its own pace. But as they move, they come together, and the boundary melts into a gentle blending. The water does not fight. It merges because merging is its nature, because the flow has always been guiding it there. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out soft and unhurried. Feel how your breath joins the world around you, not with effort, but with ease. This is the same ease with which galaxies merge. Not a moment of struggle, but a long surrender to a current that has been there all along. As the Milky Way and Andromeda draw closer, their shapes will stretch into long arcs of starlight, like ribbons unspooling in a gentle breeze. Stars will move into new positions, forming new patterns across the sky, but the changes will happen so slowly that no single lifetime will ever feel the shift. The night will remain familiar, reassuring, endless. The dance will continue without urgency. Even as their forms blend, the galaxies do not lose themselves. They become something new, something larger, softer, more expansive. Their identities do not vanish. They expand the way a melody expands when a harmony joins it. Nothingness is taken away. Something is added. Let your shoulders soften, now the way galaxies soften into one another across time. Let your jaw loosen. Let the breath deepen just enough to feel warm. You are allowed to relax into this moment because everything around you is already moving in the direction of rest. There is comfort in knowing that transformation can happen quietly, that life does not need to shift all at once to become something new. The universe does not rush its changes, and you do not have to rush yours. The path ahead can unfold in its own timing, like galaxies drawing near one another across a long, gentle night. When the two galaxies finally merge, the stars will continue shining, worlds will continue turning, night skies will continue opening like silent wings. Nothing will be lost. Everything will simply move into new rhythm, like a poem changing the length of its lines, while the breath beneath it stays the same. Take another breath, slowly, just like that. The air moves through you without needing to be held or shaped. It finds its way. Gravity finds its way. The galaxies find their way. You do not have to guard the universe for it to carry you. The merging reminds us that closeness does not need to push, that blending does not need to break, that what is meant to come together will do so without strain. The universe moves at the pace of comfort, not urgency. You are lying here breathing with the stars. Your heart beats with the same quiet rhythm that carries galaxies together. You are part of the same unfolding, the same slow dance, the same soft rearrangement of everything. You have always been part of it. If your eyelids feel heavy, you may let them fall. If your thoughts feel slow, you may let them drift. There is nothing to hold up, nothing to solve, nothing to chase. The universe is already moving, and you are moving with it. Let yourself rest now, the way galaxies rest into one another, gently, quietly, without effort. The dance continues even as you sleep. When two galaxies become one, it can be tempting to think of the moment as an ending, the conclusion of one story and the start of another. Yet the universe does not divide time so sharply. It does not mark chapters with lines or signal changes with sudden shifts. Everything simply flows one movement into the next, seamless and unhurried. The galaxies merge not as a final act, but as a continuation of a journey that has always been unfolding. The Milky Way and Andromeda will not disappear when they come together. Their stars will remain, their light will continue, Their motion will soften into a new shared rhythm. They will become a different shape, a different pattern in the great web of the cosmos. But the essence will be the same starlight drifting through time. If there is any change, it is only in how their light is arranged. The story remains the same story. Take a slow breath in. Let it soften on the way out. Feel the idea of change becoming gentler in your hands. The universe has no sharp endings. Stars form glow and eventually fade, but even in fading, they give themselves back to the cosmos. Their light continues, their elements return to space, and from that material, new stars rise. Every ending is simply a turning towards something new. Nothing is lost. Nothing is wasted. Galaxies merging are no different. They are not closing a chapter, they are turning a page. The book remains open wide and endless, written across light years and centuries of quiet motion. The narrative continues with the same patience it always has. Even in transformation, there is familiarity. Imagine a river flowing into another river. No single moment marks where one becomes the other. The waters meet mix and continue forward together. The river does not think of its identity as lost, it simply grows. Its path widens, its sound deepens. It carries more life than before. You too have moments in your life that feel like endings. But when you look closely, they are often beginnings wearing soft disguises. A new rhythm, a new form, a new chapter of the same life unfolding. The pulse of your story continues even when something shifts. You are not required to define where one part stops and another begins. Let your breath fall into its natural pace. No pushing, no guiding, just drifting. The universe teaches us that continuity is more real than endings. It teaches us that we do not have to cling to what was, nor fear what will be. We can let transition happen the way galaxies do, slowly, gracefully, without losing ourselves. The shape of life may change, but the presence of life continues. When the Milky Way and Andromeda shape themselves into something new, no star will mourn its old path. It will simply follow the gentle curves of gravity, finding a new place to shine. Nothing in the universe resists the flow of its own story. It trusts the movement, the unfolding, the soft inevitability of growth. Place a hand lightly over your chest. Feel the slow rhythm there. Your heart beats not in straight lines, but in waves, rising, falling, rising again. That is how the universe moves. That is how you move too. There is comfort in knowing that the cosmos does not rush, and there is comfort in knowing that you do not need to rush either. You are allowed to move through your chapters with the same softness, with the same patience. You are allowed to rest while the story continues around you. The forming of a new galaxy is not an event of chaos. It is a lullaby stretched across billions of years, a quiet folding of starlight into new shape, a deep breath taken by the universe itself. Close your eyes just a little heavier now. Let the breath slow. Let the world soften into the edges of silence. Nothing is ending. Everything is continuing. This moment too is only a page turning. Rest here in the gentle forever. In the universe, everything moves more slowly than we can easily imagine. Stars form over millions of years. Galaxies drift across distances so wide that even light takes ages to cross them. Nothing rushes. Nothing is forced. The cosmos unfolds in its own quiet rhythm, like a long exhale that lasts forever. We often feel that life moves quickly, that days slip by, that moments escape us before we can hold them. But that is only because we see time in small pieces. single breaths, single days, single thoughts. The universe sees time differently. It sees in centuries and ages, in the slow turning of constellations across the sky. To the cosmos, there is always enough time. Take a slow breath in and let it fall gently out. Notice how even your breath expands time when it softens. The universe does not hurry the birth of a star. Gas gathers slowly, quietly, pulled together by gravity. A cloud becomes a glow becomes a flame, and only then does the star wake. There is no rush to become anything. Becoming is the point. Galaxies move like sleepwalkers, drifting in wide arcs that take billions of years to complete. From our perspective, the night sky appears fixed and unmoving. But if we could watch with a patience beyond a lifetime, we would see everything turning, slowly, lovingly, without urgency. Time in the universe is like the rhythm of deep sleep, long, slow, steady. A breath so smooth that you could forget it is happening, and yet it continues carrying everything forward without effort. You do not need to catch up to it. You are already being carried with it. Let your shoulders relax a little. Let your jaw soften. Feel your breath lower into the chest. There is no need to chase time. There is no need to hold on tightly. You are already moving with the same quiet flow that guides galaxies and tides and seasons. The moment you stop trying to keep up, you discover that you are already aligned with it. You are never behind. In the ancient world, people believed time flowed like a river, not something to outrun, but something to float in. And floating requires no effort, only surrender. Let the current hold you. Let it move you without your involvement. Let it carry you somewhere gentle. The stars above you tonight are old, and they shine with a calm that comes from having seen ages pass. They do not worry that they are changing. They do not resist the soft fading that will someday come. They simply shine while it is their time to shine. And when that time ends, they will return the light to the universe so that something else may rise. Your life too has rhythms that are longer than you realize. Growth happens quietly. Healing happens softly. Rest is not a pause from life. It is part of life. You do not need to be constantly moving to be becoming. You are blooming even when you are still. Take another slow breath. Imagine it moving through you like a tide, in and out, in and out. The universe expands not in leaps, but in gentle widening. The night grows slowly deeper, one shade at a time. Dawn does not break, it unfolds. The world teaches us every day that softness can be powerful. Time is not a force that pushes. It is a space that opens. If you have ever watched clouds drift across a quiet sky, you have already seen how time moves in the universe. No moment calls attention to itself. Yet everything changes, everything flows, everything continues. There is comfort in knowing that you do not need to hurry to meet your life. Your life is already here, unfolding at a pace that is natural to you. You are not late. You are not early. You are exactly on time in the same way that stars are exactly on time when they are born. Let your breath slow again, even slower this time, as if the night itself is breathing through you. You do not need to strive tonight. You do not need to correct anything, or solve anything, or prepare for anything. The universe is not asking you to carry it. It is asking you to rest within it, to remember that time is spacious and you are safe inside of it. Sleep does not come when you chase it. It comes when you soften, when you let the body feel held, when the mind is allowed to drift. Let your thoughts move the way galaxies move, wide slow without direction. Let them stretch and dissolve. Let them float. You are part of the same quiet rhythm that guides everything. You are not separate. You are not behind. You are not in danger of missing anything. There is enough time for you to rest. Close your eyes now, or let them grow heavy if they are not quite ready to close. The night is already holding you. The universe is already breathing with you. You do not need to do anything else. Time is very gentle, and you are allowed to be gentle too. You and I are not standing still. The earth beneath us turns quietly steadily. The sun carries us along as it moves through the galaxy, and the Milky Way itself drifts through the universe, part of a grand, slow current. Everything is moving together as one. When everything moves in the same direction, movement feels like stillness. We do not feel the journey, yet we are inside it. We do not sense the turning of the planet, yet we are held in its motion. We do not feel the galaxy drifting, yet we are carried with it through the quiet dark. There is no effort required. Take a slow breath in. Let it soften on the way out. Feel how the world moves without needing your help. You are not drifting alone. You are drifting with everything. The earth does not fear being lost in the dark. The sun does not question where it is going. The galaxy does not ask for a destination. Everything simply moves along the paths, set by gravity time and gentle currents older than memory. There is no rush, no strain, no need to control the direction. In the same way, your life does not need to be forced forward. You do not need to push yourself through every moment. Some things unfold simply because they are meant to. Some paths open simply because you are already on them. You are carried more than you realize. Imagine floating on a wide, calm river. The water supports you completely. It moves beneath and around you, but you are not required to swim. You can simply lie back, feeling the gentle rocking of the current. That is how the universe holds you now. Let your body get a little heavier. Let your breath fall into an easy rhythm. There is no need to lift yourself above anything. The stars around us are part of this same drift. Clusters of galaxies move together in great streams across the cosmos. No star worries about keeping pace. No galaxy wonders if it is falling behind. Everything is already in harmony with the motion it belongs to, and we belong to it too. You and I are made of stardust formed by the same processes that shape galaxies. The atoms in your breath were once in distant nebulae. The metal in your blood was forged in ancient stars that lived and died long before Earth formed. The universe is not something outside of us. It is something we are part of. Let that thought settle softly, like dust settling in warm light. You are not separate here. You are not small in the sense of being alone. You are small in the sense of being held. If you have ever felt lost, know this: nothing in the universe is truly lost. Every particle of dust has a place in the great motion. Every star has a path shaped by the gravity of all others. Even drifting is a form of belonging. We move together always. Some people fear the idea of being carried by forces larger than themselves, but there is peace in allowing the universe to guide the flow. It is not a surrender of identity, it is a surrender of struggle, a soft release into something gentle. Take another slow breath. Let it deepen without effort. Feel it fall out like a sigh. You do not have to know where your journey leads. The earth does not know. The sun does not know. The Milky Way does not know. And yet everything continues exactly as it should in quiet balance. If the future seems uncertain, that is okay. The universe moves forward without needing to see the next step. You can too. You do not need to have the answers. You do not need to be certain. You only need to rest in the movement already carrying you. Close your eyes if they are beginning to feel heavy. Let each breath become slower. Let each thought soften like petals folding for the night. Nothing in you is out of place. Nothing in your life is behind schedule. Nothing about your journey is wrong. You are moving with planets, with stars, with galaxies. You are flowing with the great movement of the cosmos. Even in stillness, you are part of motion. Even in silence, you are part of the song. There is peace in knowing that you are never alone in your journey. There is peace in knowing that everything moves together. There is peace in knowing that you are held by the same forces that hold the stars. Rest now. Let your breath slow to the pace of the universe. Let the body loosen and melt into the quiet. We are drifting together gently, endlessly through a universe that has room for all of us. No one is lost. No one is out of place. We are carried always. And now you may drift into sleep with everything else. The universe moves in a great and gentle current, one so wide that it spans clusters of galaxies, and yet so soft that it carries stars the way a quiet breeze carries dust. This current is not something we must create or push into motion. It has always been moving long before the earth formed, long before light traced the first patterns across space. And we are already inside it, drifting with everything else without effort, without needing to know the direction. The motion is part of us. We do not feel the current because everything around us is moving together. Our planet, our sun, our galaxy. There was no friction, no resistance, nothing to signal that motion is happening. It is like floating in deep warm water, where the body and the water move as one. You drift, but you feel held. You are being carried. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out softly. Notice how your body loosens when you realize nothing is required of you in this moment. In many old stories, rivers were said to have memory. They remembered their paths to the sea, even when banks shifted and storms came. They always found their way not through force, but through patience. The universe is like that, a river of stars and time. It does not rush, but it never loses direction. We often believe we must navigate our lives alone, choosing every step with certainty. But certainty is not needed for movement to continue. The current does not stop when we are unsure. It carries us anyway, gently, steadily, without needing our control. You do not have to lead every moment of your life. Let your shoulders relax down. Let your breath soften again. There is nothing you must hold on to right now. This current does not forget its course. It does not misplace stars. It does not abandon galaxies in the dark. Everything is held in a balance, ancient and vast, the balance you were born into without needing to earn it. Just as the stars belong to their orbits, you belong to your path. Imagine yourself floating on a quiet lake at dusk. The sky fades slowly to blue, then to deep indigo, and the water reflects every shade without breaking its surface. You do not need to swim. You do not need to think. Simply by being, you are already drifting with the movement beneath you. In the same way, the universe supports you. not as something fragile or uncertain, but as something natural and constant. You do not have to push to stay afloat. You do not have to fight to belong. Your belonging is already complete. Take another slow breath. Feel it deepen, then soften. Notice how the breath moves without effort, like a tide. The current of the universe remembers where it is going. It remembers the unfolding of galaxies, the slow birth of stars, the rise of planets, the long arcs of time. It has seen the quiet forming of everything that exists. And you are part of that same unfolding, not separate, not outside, not forgotten. You are woven into the current itself. Sometimes we feel lost, but that feeling does not mean we are lost. Even a drop of water is not lost in the river. Even dust is not lost in a ray of light. Everything is part of something larger that carries it forward. You are the same. Your life does not need to be perfectly understood for it to be meaningful. Your path does not need to be visible to be real. You do not need to know the next step to already be moving toward it. The current knows the way, and you are already in its flow. Let your breath fall slower, as though time is stretching open around you. Let the space inside your mind grow wider and softer. You are not required to force yourself into the future. The future is moving toward you at the same slow, inevitable pace that brings galaxies together. There is no need to chase it, no need to hurry. You are already in motion. The current of the cosmos is gentle. It does not rush. It does not demand. It simply continues the way night falls, the way the tide rises, the way leaves drift downward when the wind is calm. Movement without strain. Rest with the knowledge that you are drifting with everything. You are not behind. You are not late. You are not separate. Close your eyes if they wish to close. Let the breath move like the quiet of a long, deep sea. Let your thoughts loosen and lengthen into stillness. You are carried. You have always been carried. The current remembers the way, and it remembers you. Rest now and let the universe move for you. Even though the universe is always moving, there is a quiet place where stillness lives. It is not far away or hidden among the stars. It is right here in the gentle rise and fall of your breath. While galaxies drift and suns turn, the body can settle. Movement outside does not prevent rest inside. You are in motion even now, drifting through space carried by the turning Earth, the orbiting sun, and the traveling galaxy. Yet your body rests as if the world is perfectly still. There is a calm center within you that motion cannot disturb. A small, steady flame that does not flicker no matter how wide the universe spins. That center is where your breath lives. Take a soft breath in, as though you are drawing light through calm water, and let it fall out slowly, like a leaf settling onto the surface of a pond. The body knows how to rest without stopping. The heart beats without being told. The lungs move without instruction. Your cells soften and renew themselves, even while the world continues around you. Rest is not the absence of motion, it is the gentle acceptance of it. Imagine a quiet pond in the early morning. Mist lies low on the surface, and the water is still, though beneath it the currents move. Fish swim, streams flow. Yet from above, everything looks calm. That is your breath movement, so natural and unforced that it feels like stillness. Let the shoulders loosen just a little. Let the jaw soften. Let the belly expand gently as you breathe. The world around you may feel fast at times, but your body is allowed to be slow. You do not need to match the speed of thoughts or responsibilities. You do not need to chase the rhythm of the day. The breath invites you back to yourself, to the quiet center where nothing needs to be done. In this center, time stretches, thoughts soften, noise fades to the edges. Here, the body remembers that it is not separate from the universe, but it is not required to keep pace with its grand unfolding either. You are allowed to move gently inside something vast. The universe has always held space for rest. Night follows day, winter follows growth. Even stars dim and settle before beginning again. Rest is part of everything. It is not a pause in the story. It is a chapter within it. You are not falling behind by resting. You are aligning with the natural rhythm of existence. Nothing in nature blooms constantly. Nothing stays awake forever. Take another slow breath in, as if the air is warm and soft, and let it release in a long exhale, like a quiet sigh the universe has been waiting to hear. Within your chest, there is a still room, a quiet chamber where no thought needs to speak, where the body lies down into itself and finds peace waiting there. You are already inside that room. You just needed the breath to show you the door. There is a tenderness in resting while the world continues to move. A reminder that you do not need to hold everything together. The earth keeps spinning, the stars keep glowing, the galaxy keeps drifting. You are allowed to be still even in motion. The more you soften, the easier it becomes to be carried, like floating on calm water, like lying in warm grass, like falling asleep under a quiet sky. The body knows how to let go when you give it permission. If your breath is slower, now let it be. If your eyes are heavy, let them rest. You do not need to try to relax. You are already relaxing. The stillness you feel is not separate from the universe. It is part of its deepest rhythm, the pause inside the breath, the hush between heartbeats, the calm between stars. Rest is woven into everything. And now, as your breath settles into the slow pace of sleep, you are resting in the same quiet that holds galaxies. You are safe. You are supported. You are allowed to drift. Breathe softly and let the night hold you. Now, let everything soften. Let the images that have filled your mind, stars, galaxies drift in light, fade slowly the way morning mist dissolves when touched by warm air. There is no need to hold any thoughts in place anymore. No need to remember the details. They can drift gently, like feathers settling on quiet water. You do not have to understand the journey the galaxy is making. You do not need to follow the paths of stars or currents or time. All of that is still happening quietly, effortlessly, without your participation. You are allowed to rest inside it. You are allowed to simply be carried. Take a slow breath in and let it fall out even slower. Feel the body soften a little more with each exhale, like silk loosening under warm hands. There is a vast open space holding you now, wide, soft, endless. It is not outside you. It is around you and within you, like a quiet ocean in which your thoughts are floating light and slow. You are not separate from this space. You are cradled inside it, supported without effort, resting in its calm. Your body does not need to be held up by your thoughts. Your breath does not need guidance. The world will continue turning. The stars will continue shining. The galaxy will continue drifting, and you may rest. Let the weight of your body sink into whatever is beneath you. Feel the gentle warmth rising from within and settling over your skin like a blanket. The muscles soften one at a time, shoulders, dropping arms, resting the jaw, loosening the space between the eyebrows, smoothing. Each breath unwinds something small that has been held. You are safe here. You are supported here. Nothing is required of you. Imagine yourself floating in the heart of the Milky Way. Not moving fast, not spinning, just drifting, as if the galaxy itself is a slow tide lifting and lowering you. Stars shimmer in the distance like quiet lamps in the night. The dark around you is not empty. It is soft like velvet, like a warm embrace. You are not watching the galaxy. You are inside it, part of it, made of it. Every atom in your body once belonged to a star. You carry starlight in your bones, in your breath, in the thoughts that drift slowly through your mind as you fall into rest. The universe is not something far away. It is your origin, your home, your quiet companion. Tonight, it is your blanket. Let your breathing slow further. Let the exhale become longer than the inhale. This is how the body tells the mind. It is time to rest. Thoughts may still appear like small ripples on the surface of a lake. You do not need to follow them. You do not need to push them away. Simply watch them drift and dissolve naturally, the way everything dissolves into night. There is no effort here, only allowing. The mind does not need to explain. The body does not need to analyze. The heart does not need to reach for anything. All is already enough. You are floating now in a space that knows no urgency. A night sky that has held countless worlds, countless breaths, countless quiet moments just like this. You are not alone in the dark. The universe holds all things gently, without judgment or demand. You are held the same way. Feel the warmth in your chest. Feel the weight in your limbs. Feel the gentle pull of sleep gathering softly around you. It is like a thin, quiet blanket settling over the mind. Not heavy, not thick, just enough to soften the edge of awareness. Just enough to let the world grow dim in the sweetest, most peaceful way. Sleep is not something to reach for. It arrives when you stop reaching. So rest your thoughts now. Rest your hearing. Rest your attention. Let everything drift into the soft rhythm of your breath. Slow, warm, easy. The same rhythm galaxies move with. The same rhythm oceans rise with. The same rhythm hearts rest in. You are safe. You are warm. You are held. The universe wraps around you like gentle arms, wide, familiar, infinite. There is no loneliness here, no distance, no separation, only belonging. So let sleep come now, quietly, like a tide returning to shore. Let it cover you. Let it carry you. Let it hold you. Good night, small soul. Sleep deeply in the soft, eternal embrace of the universe.